Street law, final exam study guide. Okay, let's go through the answers. So your first word is arbitration. Did anybody find out what arbitration means? You have to match it to the definition. I'm going to take that as a no. For number 1, arbitration is M. Both parties in a dispute agree to have someone make a decision for you. Okay, so if 2 people cannot get along, they cannot decide, they can agree to have a third party come in and help determine what's going to happen. So arbitration, both parties in a dispute agree to have someone make a decision for you. Number 2, law is S. Rules and regulations made and enforced by government. The law of the land. So number 2 is S. A nice way to study for this exam would be to put the vocab term on one side of your note card and then flip it over and put the definition. Do not memorize M, S, K, P, I. It's not like that on the exam. Okay. Number 3, plea bargain is K. A pretrial agreement between prosecutor and defense doesn't go to trial and the defense pleads guilty. Okay. 3 is K. Number 4, accomplice is P. Someone who helps commit a crime. So if somebody breaks into a house and somebody else is sitting by for watch, they're just as guilty as the person who broke into the house. Okay? Number 5, plaintiff is I, the person or company harmed. So if I rammed my car into a person, they would be the plaintiff. Number 6, restitution is F. Criminals are required to pay back the victim of a crime. Okay? So you hear about people getting money for pain and suffering? Okay? That's what they mean. Restitution. Number 7, settlement is B. An agreement before a case goes to trial. Okay? You hear people say they settled out of court? That's what they mean. That's a settlement. Number 8, litigators is U. Those are trial attorneys. 8, litigators are U, trial attorneys. Number 9, civil law is a case between 2 or more people. So Mrs. Staples versus Bashari Bond. Okay, I don't know. You're sitting in front of me. Number 10 you can skip because it is not on your exam. Number 11, a misdemeanor is J. Any crime which the penalty is a fine or minimal jail time. So you could consider like if you're texting and driving, you don't get into an accident, nobody gets hurt, but the cop pulls you over for texting and driving, and you have to pay a $300 fine. That's considered a misdemeanor. Number 12, negotiation is Q. People involved in a dispute discuss their problem and try to reach a solution. Negotiation. People involved in a dispute discuss their problem and try to reach a solution. Number 13, negligence. Negligence is H. Failure to exercise reasonable amount of care. Okay? So if you leave your dog outside in the dead of winter with no food or water and that dog dies, you can be charged with negligence. Okay? As of January 1, it was illegal to do that. Okay? So if your dog died or was injured or whatever, or you were caught, okay, it's considered negligence if you fail to exercise a reasonable amount of care, making sure that they have a warm place to sleep or water to drink or food to eat. Okay? 14, a defendant is G, the person accused of committing the crime. So the person who ran into you with their car is considered the defendant. 14G. 15, dissenting opinion is N, a judge who disagrees with the majority opinion. Okay? Judge or judges who disagree with the majority opinion. That's dissenting opinion. 16, alibi is R, evidence that someone was somewhere else. Okay, so you see those cop shows and they say, I have an alibi. Well, can you prove it? How can you prove it? Oh, I was at the gas station. See, here's my receipt from me buying gas at that time. There's no way I could have been over here if I was here buying gas. Okay. 17, extradition is L, the procedure by which state or nation turns over an individual charged with or convicted of a crime. So let's say you murder someone in Illinois and you go to Missouri. Missouri will send you back to Illinois for trial. Okay? That's also in the Constitution. Return to the state from which you fled. 18, felony is A, a crime where the penalty is more than a year in jail. Like murder or theft over a certain amount. Okay? Those are examples of felony. Number 19, criminal law. This is D, brought by the government against a person. So it'd be like the state of Illinois versus Staples. Okay. 20, mediation is E, third person who helps disputing parties talk through issues. You can have mediation at high school. Okay, you and somebody else can't get along. There might be an upperclassman or a dean or a social worker who will sit both of you down and talk out your problems. That's mediation. 21, probable cause is T, reasonable belief that person committed a crime. Okay? Reasonable belief that you committed that crime. All signs point towards you. Alright, so that's all the matching on the front. On your exam, I'm chunking it into groups of 4, so it won't be quite so overwhelming. Alright, multiple choice. Number 22. Let me go see what I've done with the answer key. Okay, so number 22 on your...
I had to talk to Douglas.
Number 22. I don't know why they use that person's name. I'm going to skip it. Dang. Is that his name? Grabs 18-year-old Dylan after school and beats him up. If a criminal charge is brought against him, who would bring it? And the answer for 22 is A, the government. Okay? Because it's considered a criminal charge. All right? 23. You bet. 23. The same guy grabs 18-year-old Dylan after school and beats him up. If a civil case is brought against him, who would bring it? And it would be 23 is B, Dylan, because he's 18. Okay? Now, if Dylan was not 18, his parents would. Okay? So, number 22 is A, 23 is B. 24. A treaty is defined as an agreement or contract between countries. So 24 is A. 25. Sam volunteered to buy tickets online for an upcoming concert for himself and his friend Tiandre. When Tiandre got sick and could not go to the concert, he refused to pay for the ticket Sam bought for him. Sam and Tiandre got together and talked about how they can resolve their dispute. This is an example of what? Mediation, negotiation, or court action? Well, I know it's not court action because it doesn't say anything about judges or lawyers. So number 25 is C, negotiation. They're negotiating what's going to happen with that ticket or with that money. 26. Dinah was hurt in a car accident. Her attorneys negotiate a settlement of $25,000. What are her options? The answer is C. Dinah has the right to accept or reject any offer made in her case. So she can say, the company offers her $25,000 for whatever happened. She could say, yeah, that'd be fine. Or she could say no, and they could go to trial, and then a judge would decide. 27. Which of the following is a characteristic of an appeals court? And that one is B. Only arguments from attorneys are presented in court. Only arguments from attorneys are presented in court. 28. Which of the following is an example of a motive? And that one would be B. Cecil took the meat because he was hungry. A motive is why you did it. Okay. 29. Marino sells alcohol to Michael, who is underage. Marino is guilty of C. A crime, whether or not Marino believed Michael to be underage. If you sold it to somebody, even if they were of age, you don't have a liquor license to sell that. Okay, you have to have a liquor license in order to sell alcohol. And it's like double illegal if you sell it to somebody underage. Number 30 is A. A felony is a crime for which the potential penalty is imprisonment for more than 1 year. 30 is A. 31. Marco hires John to kill his wife. Marco is C. An accessory before the fact. Okay, so he was the one who came up with it before it happened. He said he wanted to do these things. An accessory before the fact. 32. Stanley and Gabriel agree to rob a bank. Stanley goes to the bank to study its layout. Gabriel has committed D. No crime. Stanley and Gabriel, they agree to do it together. Stanley went and checked out the layout. Has Gabriel really done anything wrong legally? No. 33. Oh, look at this name. Vishwa handles the student organization funds. He secretly takes $150 for his own use. He has committed what kind of crime? 33 would be B, embezzlement. Okay? He didn't break in anywhere and steal stuff. He didn't hold somebody up at gunpoint. Okay? He took it secretly and kept it for himself. 34. Defenses to crime are unnecessary if the prosecution cannot prove every element of the crime. If they can't prove you without a doubt to be guilty, then you need no defense. Okay? 35. Which of the following is an example of a defense in which the defendant committed a criminal act, but the act was excusable or justifiable? That one would be C, self-defense. Somebody came up and attacked me in my home, and I fought back or I shot them and they died from their injuries. I was protecting myself. Okay, that's that self-defense. 36. A court order commanding a person to be taken into custody is called an arrest warrant. You've committed a crime, the police have been looking for you, you happen to get pulled over for a speeding ticket, and they find out there's a warrant, you will get arrested. 37. To search the backpack of a student in a public school. School administrators must B. Have reasonable suspicion that a crime or school rule violation has been committed. Okay, so let's say somebody brings a pack of cigarettes to school. Tobacco products are not allowed in the school. Okay, you tell me about it. I hear you talking to another student about it, and I call Mr. Newbon and I'm like, hey Newbon, I think so-and-so has something in their backpack. Newbon and a security guard will come and check your backpack and your locker. Okay? 38. Failure to give Miranda warnings means that D. Statements made by the defendants cannot be used in trial against them. 39 is B. An amount of money paid to the court to ensure that the defendant returns for the next court appearance is called B. Bail. Check over there by DeMonte. There might be some. Okay, so if somebody gets arrested and they go to jail and they put up their bail money and they get bailed out, that's your promise that you'll come back for court. You miss your court appearance, you're going to be in giant trouble. Look at one of those piles there. See if there should be some. Like, down there, is that one? Or is that the 12 assignment? Oh, I'm sorry, it's up there. Just kidding. Number 40. A grand jury C determines whether there is enough evidence to hold a person for trial. Yep. I just did number 40. I'll fill you in on the others when I get done with this one. Number 41 is judge. A judge issues the warrant. (42) The police carry out the search. 43. A jury decides if the evidence was legally obtained. 44. A prosecutor brings the charges. Brings the charges against the defendant. 46. Defendants enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. Number 46 is plea. 47. A subpoena is a court order requiring someone to appear in court. 47 was subpoena. Okay, well, we'll just write it on there. It must have gotten cut off. 48. An appeal sends a case up to the appellate or Supreme Court. 49. Sentencing is when the judge sends you to jail or probation after a trial. And 50. Due to the Miranda case, police are required to inform you of your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court of law. Those are your Miranda rights. Okay? That is every answer to your study guide.